Hey, and welcome back. This is Hamburg Mobile Summit Live, and my name is Julia. I'm your host today, and I'm going to introduce our next speaker. It's going to be Deputy Manager, Deputy of the General Manager of Outfit7, the publisher of Talking Tom. I'm here. I'm sure you heard about this game, and let's welcome our next speaker, Diraj. Hello, how are you?
Hi, Julia. Thank you. I'm great. How are you?
I'm very good. I can see Hamburg behind your back. Is it Hamburg?
It is, yes.
Ah,
Since we are in a
cool.
conference, I just got prepared with the background.
That's great. That's great. Have you been to Hamburg?
Unfortunately, no, not yet.
It's a great and beautiful city. I'm sure you'll love it next time when you have a chance to speak at this conference in Hamburg next year, I guess, right?
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to meeting you all in person and having to present this in live.
Well, okay, let's try and do it online first. And we are ready for your speech. We'd like to hear about the brand and mobile advertising based on your experience.
Amazing. Thank you, Julia. And good morning, everyone. And I'm going to promise you that I'm going to keep it as brief as possible and as fun as possible, but then at the same time, leave as much time at the end possibly to ask questions. So the purpose of today's talk is to see Outfit7's perspective on brand focuses and how brands are moving into advertisement, how brands are moving their advertisement space into the gaming, and what's happening within the in-app world around this, and what we as a company are doing to gear up for this, and what is our go-to-market strategy. And I'm sure you'll have a lot of questions around this topic, so I'm going to leave enough time at the end to cover as many questions as possible. So to begin with, let's look at what's happening within our industry. Over the past 12 months, we have seen more and more agencies are focusing on gaming and entertainment. This is an exciting time for us, to be honest. And you can see a lot of agencies are opening some specialist gaming divisions. For example, Publicis Group have started Publicis Play. Dentsu started their D-game division. WPP started with their MediaCom Play. And some of the reasons behind this is backed up with a lot of data. So let's look at some stats. According to App Annie, casual games have grown over 300% year on year in terms of the time spent by users. And this clearly shows where the users are spending most of their time these days. Now, where the users are spending the time is where the advertisers tend to normally go, right? And at the same time, Outfit7 is also keeping a very close eye on these kind of changes, and we are trying to embrace these changes. But before we go into the details of it, let's take a step back. For those who don't know Outfit7, we are the creator of Talking Tom and Friends Universe. Within our app portfolio, we have about 20 different games, and all of those games are mostly monetized through advertisement. Now, when I decided to start my journey at Outfit7, as a part of the interview process, I was asked to download one of the runner apps and prepare a presentation around the ad ecosystem. Well, as I got the job, I probably did something right there. But one thing that I noticed that there was a lot and lots of other gaming companies advertising on the apps and a lot less of brand advertisement. Now, this is nothing to worry about as long as this is the company's strategy. But me coming from a display and the web background, it made me question why this is happening. Generally, in the web world, all the competitive ads are being blocked by publishers. But when I saw the app side, in the app world, the image shows completely different. We buy from each other, we depend on a lot on each other. And this made me question, like, what's happening and how do we change this? Where do we get started in the first place? So Outfit7 has been in a very, very high privileged position. Given the scale of our apps, we've been very fortunate that a number of brands and agencies took the first step and reached out to us, wanting to work directly with us and wanting to advertise within our apps. But we also had to ask ourselves a big question. Do we pursue this actively, have everything set up from our side to support brand sales and agency sales, or do we do it passively, where we just take as we get it and not stress out too much about it? To answer this question, we had to ask ourselves, what does it even mean to us as a publisher, as an app developer, especially when we already have such a successful ad mediation business? As I mentioned earlier, we monetize most of our games through advertisement, and we have our own in-house mediation, and that works really well for us. So this is a completely new side of the business that we have never really tapped in the past. So we went back to the drawing board and found some of the answers to our questions. After a bit of internal research, we found that the ads increased user retention. As from the ads point of view, they don't tend to take the users away from our apps. Hence, the users tend to stay more within the apps. And considering the size of our apps with billions of downloads, even a small percentage increase in user retention can be massive. And sometimes people might think that the brands might not have higher CPMs compared to the performance-based campaigns. And that might be true, but the compensation from the user retention actually covers the difference in the price of CPMs. As a company, the quality of our games are always remain to be our main priority. And by partnering directly with brands and agencies, we were able to deliver the best experience possible. Also, running branded campaigns improved our image as a publisher to be more premium. This is always a good sign, to be called a premium publisher out there. The next takeaway we were able to create was a true in-game experience. Now, without having any unnecessary pop-ups. Now, gamers were able to enjoy a bit more tailored experience with less disruption, while advertisers could benefit from deeper engagement and brand recognition. This, in addition to using our standard in-app ad formats, just created a new stream of revenue for us. Now, we all know the big buzzword in our industry at the moment is collection of device identifiers. The latest changes with iOS 14 and Android, which is going to probably happen in the future, the biggest impact will be seen on the performance-based campaigns, as it makes attribution really difficult. Direct relationship with brands and agencies can be one way to deal with some of these changes, and also take control on what ads run on what users. And we can also avoid any unnecessary data leakages. Once we realized the obvious advantages of working with brands and agencies directly, the answer was quite simple, and it was like, hell yeah, why not? Let's do it. So when we decided to go to the market, we had to change our complete approach of how we look at things. We moved from a 360-degree approach, which wasn't enough anymore, to a 540-degree approach, where we had to look beyond our normal vision. And we had to think about things which we never thought about in the past. This obviously didn't come easy. We had to deal with some challenges along the way. And I would try to highlight some of the key three challenges that we had to address in when we started focusing on direct sales. The first one was, what is going to be our USP? The second one was, how do we serve ads in a way that it is efficient and scalable? And the third one was, how do we make sure that we are able to quantify and validate our delivery so it meets our clients' requirements? Now, starting with our unique selling points, we created a simple setup where we were able to use our standard formats like rewarded videos, interstitials, banners to run direct campaigns with agencies and brands. This was widely successful, especially when we had to overlay this with rich media ad formats, interactive ad formats, and people really enjoyed engaging with these standard ad formats. On top of this, we opened our apps to some premium experiences. We worked with our product team to create some really cool in-app premium ad formats with some special KPIs. And we went into the market with 3 unique ad formats. This unique ad formats can only be accessed by working directly with Outfit7. So let's look at them. The first one was a dream bubble. As you can see in the image, when you put Tom to sleep, he starts dreaming about your brand. Now, this brand can be a static image or a video image within it. And it's a great example of a real, true native in-game experience. The second ad format that we launched was called the mini game. Now, this is a true gaming mini game experience and not a playable ad. This is a great example of what an ad format can do to drive high engagement with excess of more than 1 minute of interaction, and also offers amazing brand exposure. Now, you can see from the example that we are currently running for one of the brands and how it looks like. The third one, we call it as token events, limited time token events. Now, this ad format is found in our runner apps. This is a format where Tom is picking up some unique tokens along the way when he's running in his endless runner world, and use these tokens to redeem some cool stuff within the app. Now, this offers brands an engagement and and also offers exposure and creates a limited time buzz for a specific brand, as you can see in the images. Now, with all of these formats that we launched, we had to overlay them with our first party data. So we came up with an option where we were able to do contextual targeting across our younger audience without using any personal data. And we were able to target different options like devices and location, viewability. We were able to do frequency capping, but not targeting any personal information out there. And for adult users, we were able to do a bit more precise targeting where we were able to also do gender and age gate targeting. And having an internal knowledge of our product helped us a lot because we were able to offer some unique, custom, out-of-box solutions for our brands and agencies. Coming to the second and third challenge that I highlighted earlier around ad serving and tracking, we decided to create a simple in-house ad server for serving all our custom ad formats. And so far that it has worked really well. Every time we sell a campaign, we learn something new and improve on our ad server capabilities and add some new features to it to help serve things better. For the standard ad formats, we currently are using Google Ad Manager, or also known as Google Ad Server. And this works pretty well for our current setup. On the tracking side, we are continuously monitoring and continuously in talks with various third-party companies to help validate and measure the quality of our inventory to make sure that this is acceptable as per the industry standards, and make sure our buyers are also happy with what we are providing. This is always an ongoing process, and I'm sure this is also going to happen in the future as well. So finally, what's going to be next for us? We have like two parallel strategies as of now. Number one, we continue the great work we've been doing with our existing mediation partners and continuously optimize it to achieve the best results possible. And two, the new one that we just started, create new ways to interact directly with brands and agencies. When we see in the market that the brands and agencies are focusing on games, we want to have the seamless support from our end so we can support them achieve their goals and KPIs as well. For this, we are also continuously working not only with directly ourselves, but also with some of our preferred partners to come up with solutions that can streamline this whole new evolution within our industry. And that's pretty much it. I'm open for questions and share some of my other experiences as well.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I'm not sure if you can answer my question because it's kind of stupid, but do you have any fun stories about how brands were integrated to the mobile game advertising?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. If you have it on the top of your head, go ahead. But the reason I'm asking is that I was just checking the news from yesterday. I mean, maybe you heard about how Cristiano Ronaldo yesterday during the press conference refused to drink Coca-Cola and announced that, water is the best drink you can have. And then there appeared a lot of news that Coca-Cola lost like $4.4 billion or something like that. Now they say it's a fake, but I mean, that's an interesting way to integrate the brand to your advertising strategy. That's why I asked.
I mean, I don't think I'm going to beat that story, but we have some really interesting conversations with brands, like some of our brands always want to do something innovative and something cool. And one of the stories I could share is like a brand wanted us to work on contextual advertisement, but wanted to target kids. And this is kind of an oxymoron with each other, like when you talk about contextually targeting kids, contextual and targeting doesn't go hand in hand. So we had to come up with innovative ways. And luckily we had about 20 plus apps within our portfolio, and we know which users work really well for which kind of brands. So we made a recommendation of where to run certain advertisements. But generally the perception of, hey, we want to target kids, but we cannot do any targeting doesn't go hand in hand, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah, brands sometimes want too much, and that's why it's very important to have game industry experts working with them, to find the best solution that will help brands on the one hand and will be organic for games, which is also very important for the best user experience, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And one of the things that brands also perceive with when they want to come into gaming is, or any in-app publisher for that sake, is that it's super complicated. But apparently, it's not. So I've come from a display background, and when I started the idea of doing brand sales with Outfit 7, it's exactly the same. We were able to do everything that we did in the display world on the app side. And with a bit more immersive experience, which where in the web world you have a bit of disadvantage because the user is engaging with the content and the ads are sitting behind the content. Whereas here, when you engage with the content, the ads are within the content itself. So it's a bit more immersive experience. And once you open up this myth around it's not complicated, and and for them it's no difference to either coming to an app or going to a web, things flow a lot more smoothly.
Absolutely. I mean, games is sometimes the best way to communicate with the audience. And, it's not as difficult as it might seem, especially, just like I said, if you're working with the game industry experts. One of them you are, right? So thank you for sharing your wisdom. And yeah, we were happy to have you at the Hamburg Mobile Life Summit. Thank you very much.